Okay.
Hi, everybody. This is Bonnie with Bonnie Bay Crochet. And today I have a very special friend I want you to meet. This is my friend, Susan Lohman. And she is a fellow crocheter designer that I believe we decided we met back in 2011
I
in
think so. Yes.
possibly in Greensboro, North Carolina at a Crochet Guild of America conference. But just a dear, dear, sweet sister, and I just want to meet her, and I'm just learn about what she does. She does a lot of different styles of crochet, and other crafts outside of that as well. So I want her to tell you all about that. So Susan, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and
Yeah,
whatnot?
of course. Yeah. I'm from Arizona. Um, my husband and I have been in Arizona for going on 29 years.
Ooh,
And that's where we pretty much raised our three sons. And they're all grown and they're all married now. And we have four grandchildren from them. So, yeah.
wow. And you get to travel a bit, right? To visit them.
Yeah, well, the closest one is 2 hours away. That's not bad. The
Hmm.
other two are in Indiana and Arkansas now.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, we
Because
get to travel and
I remember
visit
out
them.
of country trips, but I guess that's changed.
Well, yeah, one of them was in China for a while,
Okay.
and I did 3 trips to China, and my husband did 2 trips. He couldn't go on one of them. And one of our daughters-in-law is from Japan, so we've actually gone to Japan too.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
That
lots
is
of fun.
great. Do you mind telling us a little bit about your maybe your education background, or even if you want, and if not, just or even just how maybe your education background maybe have led you into the craft industry?
Well, I did not go to college, so I don't have a college degree. But every year in junior high and high school, I took art classes.
Oh,
So
wow.
I learned the love of making things. And I remember doing some embroidery as a Girl Scout. My
Wow.
mom actually taught me to knit when I was a kid. And yeah, I did okay, but I wasn't that great. I couldn't tell the difference between the knits and the pearls at the time. I can now. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so I've always loved to make things.
But
Yeah.
you just impress me so much though, is just being so knowledgeable. I think maybe that's just being a lifelong learner. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
because you're very articulate. I mean, I'm surprised that you didn't go to school, and that's a good thing. I'm encouraged by that actually, because I have children who have not gone on to college, but they they're lifelong learners in a way that sometimes college kids aren't, if you know what I'm saying. Instead of
Right.
having to learn something, by force, you
Hmm.
just I don't know. I'm surprised by that in a good way, like I said, but you're just so articulate and have such a vast knowledge, especially in the craft industry, and have published both inside and outside of the crochet niche. And have
Hmm.
you published in knitting as well?
A few patterns, yeah,
Okay. Wow.
just a few. Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Hmm.
love for you to show us that book that you showed me before going on about
Oh, okay.
the twill. Is it quilling or
Quilling.
quilling? Quilling. Okay.
Let me see this way.
And is this still in print or not?
Um, I don't know. It's been, what did I say? It was 2005 was the copyright.
Okay.
So this is a paper craft where you take narrow strips of paper and you wrap them around a fine tool, and you can keep them tight or you can let them expand
Hmm.
and glue the edge and pinch it into different shapes and stuff like that.
And so when did you begin crocheting?
Actually, when I was a teenager, my best friend in high school taught me. And actually, she's my sister-in-law because I married her brother.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
Wow. That is so
yeah,
cool.
uh-huh, yeah. So I think I gravitated to thread crochet pretty quickly after that because I realized how many projects I could make with one ball of thread that was $2 or $3.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because yeah, I have a spool, a couple spools of thread that my mother-in-law gave me that
Uh-huh.
it's very old. It would probably, I don't know if it would snap if I tried to do anything, but it was actually tobacco twine that they
Really?
used to use in the South,
Uh,
like this would have been early 1900s, and they would use it to wrap the leaves, and then they attach it to a stick, and then they would hang it in the barn
uh,
until it dried out. And
wow.
so a lot of women in the South, because they couldn't afford, I guess, the finer threads, um, would use tobacco twine if they had some left over during the winter, and then they would crochet with that. And it was about the consistency of uh, it's not the real thin thread, but I'm trying to think of a number.
Is it the size 10
Probably like
bedspread weight?
size 10, yeah, in
Uh-huh.
weight.
Yeah.
But they would make bedspreads and all sorts of things, but it was out of tobacco twine.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
have some of that. I thought of doing something with it at some point, but I have a harder time with the tension that's
Oh, okay.
required.
I find if I've been doing crochet with yarn for a while, and a bigger hook, then it takes me a while to get back into the tension of thread crochet.
Okay. Yeah, I
So,
found I had to just really pull it tighter, and I'm
oh,
much more comfortable with a looser uh, thread grip, which
okay.
doesn't work well
Yeah. And
for the
do you consider yourself a crocheter with loose tension or tight tension or in between?
probably not super loose, but definitely not tight.
Yeah. And I'm
Um,
tight.
yeah.
Maybe
So
because of making doilies for so many years.
yeah, because that's definitely, yeah, I think you're most crocheters are either good at one or the other, and I just prefer the thread, I guess. But yeah, but I love your necklace that you're wearing.
Thanks.
So
Oh,
um, it's so beautiful. And Susan has designed a lot of, I know, earrings. You always have different crochet earrings, and I've seen you at
yeah.
conferences, and
Yeah. This
yeah,
is
beautiful.
this is actually a technique called Veronese crochet lace.
Could you
And
actually take that off and put it closer to the camera for us so that we can
the
see?
earring or the necklace?
Yeah, the earring, maybe. Are they
Okay.
the same? That might
Yeah,
be
it's the
easier.
same
The
motif.
earring. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Up.
Yeah, that's focusing well. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
that's beautiful.
It's a different way of, well, you're kind of making different stitches. You're inserting your hook in a different place. You're
Okay.
not necessarily making a row across. This
Big
is the
book.
book that I learned from, and it's partly in Italian and partly in English.
Hmm.
And then last year, when we were going to Europe, and we were actually going to go to Verona, which is the city there in
Yeah.
Italy, I contacted this publisher, and I didn't get to meet anybody there, but one of the three ladies, the top lady here, Anna,
Okay.
she
Uh-huh.
actually emailed me and sent me PDFs of the out of print books from, I think it was 1914.
Wow.
So I've been using Google Translate to translate those and learn more of this technique so that I can teach it in the future.
Oh, that's
I,
fantastic.
I was going to teach it this year in the summertime at the IOLI convention, and that stands for International Organization of Lace Incorporated.
Hmm.
I've taught there the last 2 summers at their convention. And my husband and I are going to be having some remodeling done on our home this year. And I think it's going to start in the next couple months. So really be crazy trying to get that class ready at the same
Yeah.
time.
You want to
So,
be near home when you're working on your house too, I guess.
yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's in the future. I would love to teach this technique.
Are you going to be teaching anywhere this year that you know? I know it's early to hear back from some places still, but
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm kind of leaning towards being home more. My husband is retired,
mm,
so I don't want to be spending all this time away from him now that he's home. You
yeah,
know,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoy being together.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. But you have taught it. The Crochet Guild of America probably many times.
Yeah,
Uh,
I started there in 2009, actually a few weeks after I broke my wrist.
oh,
So the first convention or
so you're
conference
teaching with
for,
a broken wrist?
well, I did have the surgery and I had my arm in a sling. I don't know if I
Mhm.
still had that wrist protector thing on it,
Wow.
but yeah. So I had
Dedication.
many sweet, sweet students and Jean Leinhauser,
Mhm.
um, who encouraged me to teach there, or helped me get through some of the
Yeah.
difficulties of teaching with one hand.
Oh, wow.
And
Have
I
you
was even teaching shuttle tatting then.
Oh,
So
wow.
I actually could use my hand to wrap the thread around and demonstrate. But
So you're doing tatting as well.
yes,
Wow. That's almost a lost art.
yeah,
At
I've
that
actually taught it at some of the CGOA conferences too.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah. Have
So
you taught at other conferences or been to other places or
I did teach at one interweave
okay.
yarn fest. Yeah,
Yep, Yarn Fest. Yeah.
yeah, quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Out in
yeah.
Colorado or
Yes, that was in Colorado. And then
lovely.
I went to Alaska for I did a chain crochet guild there
Hmm.
and taught at their retreat.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so that was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good. And you do teach online as well. I want people to know about that. You have a growing YouTube channel
Hmm.
where you teach a lot of techniques and do you ever do Zoom classes or
I haven't yet. I've done a few through CGOA, but not
okay.
individually. That would be pretty fun.
We've talked about the quilling, the tatting, knitting, crochet. Are there other fiber arts that you enjoy as well? That's a lot.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, let's have it.
Why stick to just one or two when there's so many?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it was 2018. I took a bobbin lace class at my local yarn shop,
Hmm.
and it
Whoa.
it was interesting getting my head wrapped around it, but then I'm like, oh, this is fun. I I'm one of those people that likes a challenge and I like intricate things.
Yeah. Like I said,
So
always
yeah,
learning. Yeah.
yeah, I do a little bit of bobbin lace. And if
That,
anybody doesn't know what that is, look it up online. You have all these wooden bobbins wrapped with thread and you're
yeah.
crossing and twisting. And it's like
Yeah.
weaving
I
on a
see that
small
at the
scale.
fair, at our county fair each year. They have a group of women demonstrating that, and it's mind-boggling as to
Yes,
what they're doing. But
yes.
it's gorgeous.
Hmm. Yeah, it's, I mean, you talk about crochet or shuttle tatting taking a lot of time. Well, compared to
But
bobbin lace, they're quick.
oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah,
But you're
yeah.
you're like you always hear talk about the Renaissance man. I think we got a Renaissance woman here. Um, and it used to be, women would it was almost a requirement. You'd have to learn a lot of the home crafts. And
Right.
I kind of feel like women are missing out
Yeah.
on a lot now because it's just we're
Hmm.
expected to do all these other things that were never really on our to-do list. And
Yeah,
unfortunately, I think it's been to the neglect of, a lot of the home arts. But
right. I don't even know if they have home ec classes in high school or junior high, middle school, whatever.
they don't call them home ec anymore. They give it some business professional sounding name now in our
Oh,
locale. So I
okay.
and it's yeah, and I don't know that it's really enough to gain a lot of skill in
Hmm.
any of them. It's just an exposure, I think, to them. But
Right,
yeah, I mean, when I was growing up, there was crochet, there was knitting. You could take a sewing class, cooking class, and all these other stuff. But
right.
I mean, who needs to learn how to cook or sew? I mean, come on, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's
Some people don't know how to cook.
yeah,
Yeah,
and people don't know how to sew a button on,
yeah,
or even the most basic things. But yeah, it's
right.
yeah, I guess we're old school, but
Yeah,
I'm going to just throw an opinion out here. I think we're in a renaissance of sorts to use that word again, with the crafts because of all the different supplies that we have available now. It's just
right.
incredible. Uh,
Yeah,
it's a lot more
yeah.
than I remember in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. I mean, it's been 45 to 50 years since I learned to crochet,
mhm,
and I've been crocheting, you know, almost nonstop
yeah,
since then. So I've got lots and lots of supplies.
lots of supplies, lots of experience, lots of practice. Can
Right.
you
Yeah.
can you show us some of your designs?
Um,
What goodies do you have for us?
yeah, sure.
I would love to
Um,
see.
this is it's actually part of it, but this is a scarf that I designed in Mosaic Crochet. It's
That's beautiful.
a spike single crochet Mosaic Crochet, and it's actually reversible. So it
Oh,
doesn't
wow.
matter if the wind's blowing, your scarf's still going to look pretty.
And that's unusual for crochet to be reversible.
Yeah,
So
I've been having a lot of fun with reversible Mosaic crochet techniques.
so
And
do you teach that on a video or
yes, I do have a video on this one, and I'm
okay.
going to be coming out with the video on this one. This is another scarf. In fact,
Wow.
we're in the editing phase right now. This one is reversible, but you have a light side and a dark side.
It's like double knitting almost.
Almost,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's
Wow.
not that hard. Yeah,
Well, I
so
definitely want to get links from you, and we will put links in the video description. So if you're interested in learning, particularly the heart scarf, you can just click that link and go to Susan's channel. And please, please, please subscribe when you go there. And so that you
yeah.
get her feed and hit the notification, y'all know what to do. But
Mm.
hit those bells so that you're notified when she uploads. And you probably don't upload all the time, right? So they're not going to be spammed to death if
Oh,
they
no.
subscribed, right? Yeah. That's what I
No,
tell people. This is not, you're not subscribing to emails for the rest of your life when you do this. It's just an occasional notification. So
right.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, when we have time between traveling and working on our house and, you know,
seeing grandchildren. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
visiting the grandkids and the kids.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
So, what inspires you, either personally or otherwise, when you create these designs? Is there I don't know, is it the technique or is it an idea that turns into embracing a technique or
um, sometimes it is learning a new technique that inspires me to design.
Mhm.
I'm really inspired by certain colors of yarn.
Okay.
You know, you go into a yarn store and you say, "Oh, this is gorgeous. I just have to
Yeah.
come home with a skein or two of this one
I
and
have no
design
idea what
something
you're
with it."
talking about. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, I just did a little purging of my yarn stash, so I I let my friends have first dibs at all the extras I was getting rid of. Yeah, it got a little too much, but yeah, I do love learning new techniques. And I'm one of those people that likes to ask questions and try different things and
Mhm.
yeah, and see what happens. I mean, when I'm designing something, it may turn out not so great the first time around or the second
Mhm.
time around, but then I change a little bit here and a little bit there
Yep.
and then I'm happy with it. So, yeah.
Yep. Life of a designer. We probably
Yeah.
do more ripping than anybody even
Yeah.
can dream of doing, but
Yeah. I remember one day my brother-in-law was over and I was ripping out stitches and he said, "What are you doing?" Don't worry, it's part of the process.
yeah, making it better.
Yes. Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't right. I have to redo it. Not a big deal.
Yeah. And sometimes I know I could take shortcuts and oh, nobody's gonna notice that this could be better if I did it this way. And I'm like, I'm gonna know. So
Yeah,
it's like, no, this has
exactly.
gotta come out. We gotta start it again. But
Right.
it's all for good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, please show us more of what you've
Okay.
got. I
Here's
see such
another
beautiful colors back
Mosaic
there.
Crochet scarf. This
Oh, that
one's
is so pretty.
also reversible. And I have a video on this technique.
It looks very Turkish to
I don't
me.
know. You know
Or
what? I'm one of those geometric people.
okay,
I
yeah, well they
love
use a lot of
geometric.
geometric shapes and
Yeah.
um, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Well, the name of my website and YouTube channel is The Crochet Architect
okay,
because I wanted to be an architect when I was a teenager, but I fell in love and got married instead.
that's
So
okay.
now I'm a crochet architect, so I can build crochet designs instead of buildings.
Oh, that is cool.
So yeah,
And it makes your work very accessible to so many more people too.
right. This one was one of my first mosaic crochet patterns, and this one is not reversible. So you just see the regular stripes on the back. And I did not, or did I? Did I use my anchor double crochet? I think I did. I don't, you don't do mosaic crochet yet, do you?
I generally stick to cables because I'm always trying to develop new techniques for
Right.
them.
Yeah.
But I also do a lot of beginner friendly projects as well.
Right. Yeah.
Just so that, people who aren't familiar with crochet can, feel welcome and learn something new. And then once they learn something new and then kind of whet their appetite for something a little more advanced. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I just haven't gotten the ideas out of my head yet in some of the other subcategories. And
Yeah.
also people like you. And I know that there are others out there doing the Tunisian crochet and everything so beautifully.
Mhm.
And I'm
Right.
I'm fine to just say, I'm over here doing this and they're over there. And that's everybody has their like specialty.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
although I'm starting to add beginning knit to it as well.
Ah,
I
nice.
started adding some of those to my channels. It's been probably 4 or 5 years ago. Some
Mhm.
beginning techniques just to show crocheters that knitting is not the enemy as we once thought it to be. And then, so my daughter and I would always kid around about seeing what the dark side of the force was up to. So we went over to the dark side of the force that I'm referring to knitting, and we realized it wasn't all that bad. And in fact, it's in some ways easier than crochet.
Right.
Yes, I said that. Knitting can be easier than crochet. So
In
I'm
some
kind of,
ways.
and that's one of my more popular classes right now, both on
Ah,
Zoom and in at conferences, has been teaching, targeting crocheters, but teaching them to knit with the continental method.
okay. Right.
So I'm busy just trying to do, beginning cables and then knitting. I mean, my plate is cup is overflowing,
Right.
so to speak.
Yeah.
But I love the color play with the mosaics and the Tunisian and all that.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna
Right.
sit back and just watch that go by. Um,
Right. Yeah. I have a lot of fun with it. I was going to say that the back is just stripes,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and regular mosaic crochet, because you're doing all your rows from the front.
So it's a
And
different technique then when you're doing the reversible, like the scarf that was reversible.
yes,
I'm
different
very
technique.
interested. I'm gonna have to check that one out. I have to see. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's some other designers that have come out with some reversible mosaic crochet techniques too.
Wow.
And they're each just a little bit different. And so you just, check them out and see which one that you gravitate towards a little bit more than the others. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got another, this is my Dueling Diamonds blanket.
Ooh.
And of course, the colors spoke to me on this.
Okay, so now that looks like a slow, is that by any chance the Red Heart ombre that has the slow changing color, or is that a higher end yarn?
I think it might have, it wasn't that.
Okay.
I think it was one of the cakes,
Like Caron,
possibly.
but very slow changing. That is really
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun to crochet. But like I said, it's obviously one-sided.
And that's okay.
That's okay. Yeah, because the
That's
other side is
gorgeous.
fine.
Yeah.
You just don't get the diamonds.
Wow, that is gorgeous though.
Yeah. And then when I was doing this one and the other one that I might show you also, mostly with mosaic crochet, you start and end each row and cut off the yarn.
Ugh.
So, okay, so you have the fringe, which is fine for a
Yeah.
scarf. But then a lot of people are doing a double border. So they have, instead of weaving in all the ends, they cover the front and the back. So they
Mhm.
have a border on the front and a border on the back, and then they sew or, do a last round to put the two together, and all their little ends are between those two layers. Well,
Oh,
I came out with what I call my COM technique, which is continuous overlay mosaic. And instead of doing that, you you don't finish off and cut the yarn at the end. You pull up a long loop after your last stitch, you put your yarn ball through it, and then you tighten that loop. And you carry that yarn across to the beginning of your next row, and you work over that as well.
okay.
Because in mosaic crochet, you're alternating your main color, your contrasting color, back and forth.
Okay.
So I have a video on my YouTube channel on doing that. So
Okay.
this is a single border. I have used just a small amount of yarn to do my border instead of a double border. So for
Wow.
me, the little bit of yarn that's carried across here is less yarn that would be used if I was doing 2 layers front and back of a
Yeah.
border. So,
Wow.
and yeah, I don't have to bother with the double border. I've never done a double border.
Wow. I like that.
Yeah.
But you have to be careful with the tension, I guess, as you're
Yes. Yeah.
working it across.
Right.
Kind of
Yeah.
like kind of like working with floats be
Oh yeah.
in intarsia or Fair
Hmm.
Isle knitting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before you start your next row with the yarn that you've carried across,
Hmm.
you can pull on the yarn a little bit and then tug the
Huh.
edges of your project to make sure
Wow.
that it's not too tight or too loose.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Are those
And
hats behind you with the rainbow colors? Are those
yes.
also the same techniques? I can't help but not see those. They're just so pretty.
Um, actually, woo, I did these pretty much before I got into mosaic, but it's a lot like mosaic.
Hmm.
This is my easy rainbow scarf, and you can see I've got fringe on the end
Yeah, beautiful. I love
because,
fringe.
yeah, I started and ended every row, worked them all on the front, and then I did the matching hat. So that's the easy rainbow hat.
It
And I
looks
love
almost,
rainbow colors.
yeah, it looks almost Africano kind of a style, with the
Oh,
hat.
okay.
It's so pretty.
Yeah. And then actually this one is my stained glass snowflake scarf.
Oh, wow.
And this is tapestry.
So do you have a video on that as well?
I have a video on tapestry crochet. I've got 2 or 3 videos on tapestry crochet.
Okay. So there you
Yeah.
all go. I encourage y'all to check out Susan's videos. She's an excellent teacher. I think you would really, really like her videos. So please subscribe and check out. And she's got some beautiful work there. It's different than what you're going to find on my channel for sure. But I just, yeah, definitely check that one out. Um, do you have any like hobbies outside of the fiber arts and crafts?
I have other crafting I like to do.
Oh, okay.
Sometime, well, I went through a big paper crafting phase. I'm
Okay.
not into that right now. You know, when you have so many hobbies, it's hard to pick and choose which you're going to work on at any given
Oh,
time. Yeah. And I went through a toll painting phase. I
a what?
still in toll painting. That's what you used to call it. Well, that's what I used to call it
Yeah.
back in the day, in the 70s and 80s. It was called toll painting. So you had your acrylic paint and your wood pieces, and you painted them and glued them together and made fun things.
Okay.
So,
I'm not familiar with
yeah.
that.
So yeah,
So,
I like painting. Um, actually did a little bit of painting when I was younger on canvas.
very
Um,
nice.
yeah. So all kinds
Yeah.
of things. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite design that you have ever made? Or is that like asking you to pick which is your favorite child?
Well, I won't say that on camera.
No, 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 no. No, I'm saying I don't think I could answer that question, but I thought I'll give you a shot at it.
Yeah.
And your patterns are available on your website, right?
Yes, my self-published patterns are.
And can you tell us, I'll have it posted in a video description, but what is your website?
It's thecrochetarchitect.com.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thecrochetarchitect.com. Okay.
Yeah.
I just in case somebody didn't hear it the first time, like me, no. But just need to, I'll make
All
sure
right.
that that's across
So
the
my
bottom.
my favorite project, and I think the pattern is still available online, is my dragon ship.
Oh, wow. That
And
is
this is
impressive.
from the Voyage of the Dawn Treader.
Oh, yeah, C.S. Lewis, The Chronicles of Narnia.
And when I was saying that, you know, it takes several tries sometimes to get a design
Oh,
right, the
that is
face, the
gorgeous.
head took quite a while.
Oh, that's
So,
amazing.
and when Michelle Max was the editor for Crochet World magazine, she asked me to design this. And the movie hadn't come out yet. So I had to go online and find some pictures for it
Oh, wow.
so that I'd know what it looked like. And then I kept going and going and getting more and more detail. And then finally, like, yeah, that's enough. So I could
Yeah.
have added more, but you know, getting the scales and stuff.
It just writing the instructions so that somebody can replicate that
Yeah. And
is,
of course, I didn't think about the mast not staying up. So in hindsight, it would have been good to glue this down or put a hole in the cardboard, or
mm,
it might have been plastic canvas and had a longer one so it would actually stay
yeah.
in place, but it moves around.
Oh, that's beautiful. So any of you C.S. Lewis fans out there, if you're reading those stories to your kids, like I know I did. I'm sure you read them to your uh, kids way before the movies ever came out. And yeah, that was a great story.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
yeah,
That is gorgeous. It reminds me, I was working on my daughter was making something for the fair and she was having trouble. She made a set of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
yeah,
and the head was oversized, but on purpose from the body, but the head would always go bonk and would flop down. So we ended up taking a dowel rod, which is probably what you have inside there, and we
right.
just ran it from the head to through the body. So, the head was always up.
Nice.
It was a
Mhm.
simple fix, but it's like, no, we need some construction here.
Right, yeah,
And so we ended up just putting the dowel rods inside. I mean, I'm not sure how safe that would be for a kid to play with, but just for crochet
yeah,
dolls on the shelf, it
right,
was fine. And she, got her little ribbon at the fair, so all was well, ends well. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Do you have a favorite publication, of a design that uh went into publication? Um, I'm not even sure what I'm asking here. Or
Well,
do you have a favorite crochet book?
I have a favorite crochet book, and it's this one. It's a Japanese one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's the one that oh, that necklace
here,
is
I'm gonna put it
gorgeous.
in front of me. Maybe it'll, no, I don't know what it's.
Is it written in Japanese?
No, it's not. I have, oh, sorry, it is. Um, I do have a lot of Japanese crochet books that are written in Japanese. Um, I've learned to not necessarily read Japanese. I use Google Translate a lot, but I can tell from some information in the patterns.
Is it stitch
Um,
diagrams that are
oh
that
yeah,
you're reading?
stitch diagrams and yeah, they've got
Okay.
uh, assembly diagrams and stitch diagrams. And I love those much more than written patterns because I'm a visual person. So
Okay.
um, yeah, this book just has really neat patterns. And this is one of the things that I've made from the book.
Oh, wow. And this is crochet,
Yeah, this is Irish crochet.
learned from a Japanese book.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Yeah. The Japanese books have more than just the basics in them. Let me see where they'll have sections with tutorials such as this,
Ah,
step-by-step tutorials. You don't need to learn Japanese or
yeah,
know how to read it. You just watch what they're doing in those step-by-step photos, and you learn so much from them.
yeah.
So,
Visuals.
yeah,
Yeah. Do you have a
yeah.
favorite gift that you've given? A favorite, special, meaningful? I know that's a question that's probably hard to answer on the spur of the moment.
Yeah, there are lots of things for my granddaughter. They
Mhm.
were a lot of fun to crochet. Yeah.
Like the thing sitting behind you, the stack of rings I see.
Oh yeah, the baby rings. Yeah, that's
Did
one of
you
my newer
design that?
patterns. So yeah, you know,
Oh, wow. Is that in a publication somewhere?
it's on my website.
On your website. All right. So there you go. If you all have grandchildren and you want to crochet this beautiful stack of rings,
Yeah,
you know where to go.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
And it's a rainbow
fantastic.
again.
Well, it's very stimulating for children to see a lot of those colors, and that's why, for
Right.
baby blankets and things, I like it to be, highly textured and or, highly colorful, or sometimes both. Learning
Hmm.
from blankets I've given to people, and I remember one mom at our church came up to me and she says he just can't get enough of the popcorn and just loves touching, the different shapes.
Oh,
So
nice.
so that got me thinking, yeah, so that's why I like to, do cables and do all sorts of things, even on baby blankets, because it gives them something to study. But
Yeah.
colors are great. Where would you like to take your crochet business, or even crochet vision, or whatever? Is there a do you see yourself moving in a particular direction?
Basically, I want to keep designing and self-publishing more patterns, but I would like to teach on a craft cruise.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Oh, yeah. You did that, didn't you?
No, never have.
No? Oh,
I
okay.
know when I went on my very first cruise ever was in 2022. That's with my husband on it's kind of
Okay.
a trip of a lifetime in the Mediterranean,
Okay.
from Rome through. It was kind of mimicking Paul's missionary journeys in a very
Oh,
light way, but did
nice.
time in, Greece, Athens, even up through Turkey to
Mm,
Ephesus, which was amazing, and then made our way down eventually to Israel and Haifa was a port, and then we stopped down further in Ashdod, which was really cool because that was in biblical times, Philistine territory, and seeing words like Dagon on building names, which was of course one of the ancient gods that was brought into the Israeli temple back in the
mm,
day. But then into Jerusalem and later to Cyprus and then back
wow.
home to Rome. So it was, yeah, just swimming in history, but no crochet instruction, but I did have crochet, as you know, with me on that ship just
Right.
to for the relaxing portion, and may have found some crochet along the way. I did in the marketplaces throughout the trip and took pictures and bought some and
Yeah.
and 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 hit an Italian yarn store or two when we were traveling through Italy afterwards. So, but no instruction. I would love to
Mm-hmm.
in fact, I'll say this openly, publicly, in case people are interested. If you are, let us know. Nothing is in the works yet, but I'm talking with my good friend Jennifer Ryan, and I know you know Jennifer really well, and
Right.
would love to get maybe two or three of us together and maybe head up a trip to Ireland. Uh,
Oh, that would be
I,
wonderful.
I would love to just camp out in the Aran Isles for like a week. Just get a house and rent it and just majorly chill. Um,
Oh, yeah. That would be
yeah,
so fun.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
and it's not too pricey there. So, but
Yeah.
just an idea. I mean, I would love to get our friends together and do that
Yeah.
while we still can
Right.
before the advanced years, take us to a different place and season. But
Right. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so okay, so that's a cruise. You want to do a cruise.
Well, cruise or retreat, either
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
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 Um, wow, that's a great thing. But you do plan on continuing to do YouTube videos and your
Right.
online pattern sales and so forth.
Right.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Great. Is there one thing that you would like to create that you haven't yet, either practical or absolutely off the wall crazy?
Yes. An Irish crochet top.
Ooh,
Totally Irish crochet with all the motifs joined intuitively with no instructions. Yeah. That's
just
what
for
I would like
yourself.
to. Yeah.
Just do.
Yeah. So with
Yeah.
thread, not with yarn.
Yeah, yeah, I understood that. Yeah. Yeah. If those of you don't know what she's talking about, like the necklace that you showed,
Right.
the Irish crochet style. Wow,
Hmm.
that would be
Yeah.
a tall order.
Yeah. Irish crochet is different floral motifs and leaf motifs mostly. There's some other scrolls and things like that too. And then you join them together. I mean, the necklace, you can see the flowers. There's the flower and the
Mhm.
leaves. And then there's these little, I don't know what you call them, berries, I guess. But that's not joined like Irish crochet it's joined, typical Irish crochet. And I think I might have packed away my Irish crochet book. We're trying to pack away a few things before it's crunch time.
Uh-huh. Before they tear everything up to make it better.
Yeah. Uh, yeah.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah.
Is there anything else that you can think about that you'd want to mention, either about your business or about the craft or just to crocheters in general?
Yeah. Well, I love to crochet every day and learn new things and teach new things. I love to meet other crocheters and pass along the knowledge and the skills that God has given me to them too,
Wow.
and encourage other people.
Yeah. It is such a gift from the Lord,
Yeah,
just the way he
it
I have
is.
this. Go ahead.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, I
it's the
just have,
gift of creativity that
yeah,
he's given us. Yeah.
I am pretty convinced that, you know, because we're made in his image, um, that's that's the impetus that I think that's in us to want to create and to make things with our hands.
Right.
Um, even if it's not using our hands, but just the desire and what do you call it, drive to just continually make things. It's just we're in his image and that's what he does.
Mhm.
And it's I can't not make something new. And
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you look around at all the beauty that he's created.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It
That's
just
fantastic.
inspires us to create more in crochet.
Yep. And the
Yeah.
colors and everything. Yeah.
Yes. Hmm.
Well, Susan, thank you so much for joining us today on our channel. And it's a delight to talk with you and look forward to seeing what you have to, you know, your new designs coming out.
Yeah. Thank you. It's been a wonderful opportunity and nice to see your smiling face again.
Oh, it's so good to see you. See you. Hope that we haven't seen each other since the pandemic, I don't think.
Yes. Right.
But that day's coming, so maybe we'll be able to connect this year. Well,
Hmm.
God bless
Yeah. You
and have a great
too.
day.
All right.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.